Good morning, Year 2. It's lovely to see you for our next English lesson online. I've really enjoyed pulling this lesson together, so I hope that you enjoy it this morning too. So today in English, we are going to be focusing on the same skill as yesterday, so using commas in a list. So please pause the video here to write the date, Friday, the 8th of January 2021, and the learning objective. Use commas in a list. Brilliant, well done Year 2. So as you can see, we've got our thinking boxes to success in front of us again at the start of today's lesson. As you can see, there is one difference though. If we look at our grammar skills and particularly look at commas in a list, you can see the phrase use it in the star today. So today we are going to be focusing on using this skill, building on trying it in the last session. So we're returning to the instructions on how to make a sandwich. Looking at these instructions, what do you think we need to make a sandwich? As I know in the last lesson we'd looked together and we'd noticed that they were missing a title, what you need. We also noticed that the instructions were even missing a top tip, and that would have been very helpful. So at the moment, we're going to particularly think about what you need, because we really need to make sure that when writing instructions that we provide clear descriptions for our audience so they know exactly what steps to follow. Okay, so I wondered if you could pause the video here, read through the instructions together at home or in the classroom, and have a think about what you need. So first of all, just do this through discussion together. Fantastic. So hopefully you've had time to talk about what you need to make a sandwich based on the instructions shared on the screen. What I'd love you to do next is draw a picture of each item you need to make a sandwich. So please pause the video again and draw a picture for each item. Well done, Year 2. I know how much you love drawing, and you may have even had the opportunity to add colour if you've got some at home or in the classroom. So I hope that you enjoyed drawing all of your items. I'm going to share with you now the items that I have pulled together from reading these instructions. So as you can see on the screen, I have chosen a wooden chopping board to make the sandwich on. A loaf of bread, a knife, a plate, butter, and I've chosen my filling to be cheese. I've gone for cheese slices, so nice and easy to add into the sandwich. So looking at the screen and looking at these items, how do you think we spell each item? So for example, if we were to spell the word plate, I know that I need to use my phonics to help me spell that word. So I'm going to share my thinking out loud. So plate. I'm just going to check using my phonics fingers. O, A, T, plate. Okay, I'm just going to break that down now. It's the first sound that I can hear. U, A, T, plate. Oh, I'm not sure that looks right. What do you think, Year 2? How could I check or improve my spelling? There's a strategy that we use called best fit spelling. Can you remember how we use it? Brilliant, well done. I'm going to write the word in 3 ways and have a think about which way looks right. So I know there's an A sound. I'm just not sure which one at the moment. Okay, let's have another go. O, A, T, plate. So this time I've used the grapheme AY to make the A sound. O, 8, okay. I'm going to try it one more way and then review the spellings afterwards to see which one I think is a best fit from looking at it. Okay. L, A, T. Okay, I can hear the A sound in the middle of the word. I know a split digraph represents a sound when it's in the middle. So I'm going to use a split digraph, A, split E, with the letter T in the middle. Okay, so I know that the grapheme AY is usually used when the A sound is at the end of the word. So I know it can't be this word here. So I'm going to remove this word. But what's confusing me is that the AI grapheme for the A sound is also used in the middle, like the split digraph. I think from having a look, I feel pretty confident that plate is spelt with the split digraph A split E. And I'm going to use my sound buttons to show you the split digraph. Brilliant. Well, thank you for your help, Year 2. I wonder if you could pause the video here and have a go at labelling your items that you've drawn in your book, thinking really carefully about your spelling. If a spelling is particularly tricky, I really recommend you having a go at using best fit spelling, so spelling the word in 3 ways, and thinking about which word looks right, building on your knowledge of phonics and your spelling patterns. It would be great to talk about this at home with the adult helping you or with your talk partner in school. Well done, Year 2. I hope that you're happy with your drawings and your labelling that you've created so far. So moving on, as you can see, I'm sharing with you now the spellings of each item, which are labelling the pictures. The next thing I'm wondering is how can we add detail to the things in our list to support the audience with clear descriptions? Because that's really important that we do that when writing instructions. So how can we add detail? There's a particular skill that we focused on already in the autumn term, so before Christmas. It's a particular skill that helps us to add detail. Have a conversation at home or in school to discuss what you think this skill might be before I share it with you. So pause the video here and have a think about what you've already learned in Year 2. Well done, Year 2. So we can add detail by using noun phrases. So a noun phrase is made up of an adjective and a noun. So as you can see from looking at the screen or looking at your own list in your book, so far we have a list of nouns, don't we? We have things on the screen. So what we're going to do, we're going to add detail to some of these nouns by adding an adjective before the noun. We're not going to do it for every item, okay? We don't want to lose its impact. Okay, so just going to do it to some items. So for example, if we look at the noun bread, so the thing is the bread, what adjective could we add before the noun bread to describe what the bread is like? Please pause the video here and have a discussion. Well done, Year 2. Okay, so I'm going to share my thinking with you. I'm sure that you've come up with lots of amazing ideas, which I'd love to hear. But whilst we're working differently at the moment, I'm going to share my idea with you. So I'm thinking of describing the bread, particularly looking at this picture, as freshly baked bread. You can just imagine the smell, can't you? Freshly baked bread. So I'm just going to highlight that in purple so we can see that we've added the adjectives before the noun. So we've got, move my face so you can see the words, that would be wonderful. So we've got freshly baked bread. Brilliant. Okay. What other noun could we describe? I'm thinking of describing the chopping board. So I know already the board has been described as a chopping board. So already there is chopping there to make it more specific. But I wonder what material the chopping board is made out of. So this is linking to our science knowledge, our learning with Mr. Chappell. or our learning on Monday when we were building boats. What is the board made out of? Have a conversation at home or in the classroom to describe what adjective we could add to add even more detail for our audience. Well done, Year 2. So I was thinking of adding the adjective wooden. As you can see, it is a wooden chopping board. So let's see if I can extend that. Brilliant. So I'm going to highlight wooden and change the colour. Well, the colour of the font to purple. So you can really clearly see that adjective. I may also choose to describe the cheese. So the cheese that I have chosen isn't cheddar cheese, but red Leicester cheese. So I could also add that description so that it's really clear for our audience. Okay, so I wondered if you could please pause the video here and review the items that you have drawn and choose perhaps 2, maybe 3 items that you're going to add detail to by creating noun phrases. You're adding an adjective before the noun. Fantastic, well done Year 2. I'm so proud of you. I hope you're enjoying this lesson as much as I am today. Okay, so moving on, we are going to go through a modelled write. In the classroom, we would often call this a shared write, as we would be doing it together and the children would be sharing their ideas and we'd be building the text as a class. As we're working separately at the moment, it's going to be a modelled write. So I'm going to share with you my thinking processes. So on your screen, you can see the items we need to make a sandwich. But I know that yesterday we were working on how to write a list using commas to separate items. And this is what we're going to need to do when writing instructions on how to make a boat that floats. So what I'm going to do is share with you how we can use commas in a list when writing what you need. So let me just get this text box ready. Brilliant. Okay, so move my face out the way. There we go. So what is the first thing we need to write when writing our instructions? Please pause the video here and have a conversation. Well done. We need to start with a title which explains what our instructions are about. So the title of these instructions that I'm sharing with you is how to make a sandwich. And because it's a title, I'm going to put it in the middle of the page and underline it. If you're going to do this at home and you have a ruler, it'd be great to use one. But please don't worry if you don't have one. So how to make a sandwich. Brilliant. Okay, so we've written our title. Now, what is the next thing we need? So we're going to be writing a list about what's needed to make a sandwich. So what do you think we might need to write first? Pause the video and have a conversation. Well done, Year 2. So we need to use the heading, what you need. Brilliant. And I'm going to start a new line underneath. As you can see here, I've left a line between the title and the heading so that I'm organising my writing really neatly. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm having a look now at the pictures to help me, and I'm going to write a list. I wonder if you could pause the video here and have a go by yourself first, using your pictures and your labels to help you. Write your list using commas to separate the items, so thinking back to the skill you were trying yesterday. Well done, Year 2, brilliant. Okay, I'm going to model that writing to you now. So the first item I can see is the chopping board. But I really want to challenge myself and include an adjective to provide clear descriptions to the audience. So, as I practiced before, I added the word wooden. So what you need, a wooden chopping board. So wooden is the adjective I have chosen to add. I'm just going to highlight that again in purple just to make that really clear, to show you how I'm challenging myself. Okay, so what you need, a wooden chopping board. Now I know I need a comma to separate the wooden chopping board with the next item. So I can see in the picture, the next item is the bread. Can you remind me how I described the bread? Well done. I described it as freshly baked bread. Oh, it sounds yummy, doesn't it? So I'm going to write freshly baked bread. Oh, I've got this. A split E digraph again. Bread. Brilliant. And I'm going to highlight that in purple again to show how I've improved my writing by adding more detail for the audience. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more items to go. So I know I need another comma to separate the freshly baked bread with the next item. Brilliant. So as you can see here, the comma begins sitting on the line, in line with my writing, and then it just drops below. Fantastic. So the next item is butter. And I'm going to have another comma to separate the butter with the next item. What is the next item that you can see on the screen? Brilliant, the cheese. Fantastic. Who can remember how I was thinking of describing the cheese? Because it's not cheddar cheese, it's a different type of cheese. Who can remember? Brilliant, red Leicester cheese. Okay, so I'm going to add that detail now. So red Leicester cheese. Brilliant. So a wooden chopping board, freshly baked bread, butter, red Leicester cheese. I might even add the word slices, as it's a packet of slices rather than a block of cheese. I'm trying to make it really clear for the audience. Okay, I can see I've got the plate and the knife left to go. So again, I need a comma to separate the cheese slices with the plate, and I have the knife to go. So I'm going to use a comma to separate plate and knife. Okay, and I'm going to have a full stop at the end of my list. Brilliant. Oh, I heard someone say I'd made a mistake. Oh no, year 2. Please, can you pause the video here and spot my mistake? Well done, year 2. You're so super, aren't you? It's a good job that you're there to help me with my learning. So you're right, we need to use and in between the last 2 items in the list. So what are the last 2 items in this list? Plate and knife. Well done. So we must use and in place of the comma between the last 2 items in the list. Brilliant. Well done, year 2. I'm just going to get my highlighting pen to just again go through how we use commas in a list. So as you can see, they have been used to separate each item in the list, except for there is and used between the last 2 items in the list. Okay, I'm just going to read it through. You may choose to read with me, or you may choose to follow with your finger, or you may choose to track with your eyes. How to make a sandwich. What you need: a wooden chopping board, freshly baked bread, butter, red Leicester cheese slices, plate and knife. Ooh, plate and knife. Doesn't quite sound right, does it? Plate and knife. I know what's missing. I'm going to use my purple pen to polish. I'm going to add an inserting mark, and I need the word airy, or if I can use my pen perhaps, my purple pen. All right, really neatly. Oh, I'm trying my best. Brilliant. I did think a word was missing. So let's read it back through together again, starting with what you need. What you need: a wooden chopping board, freshly baked bread, butter, red Leicester cheese slices, a plate and knife. A plate and knife. Again, I think we need a knife, a plate and a knife. Well, I'm trying really hard to have super neat cursive and joined handwriting. Brilliant. Okay, so what you need: a wooden chopping board, freshly baked bread, butter, red Leicester cheese slices, a plate and a knife. Brilliant. I think that flows much more nicely now. So hopefully I've shared with you how we can use commas in a list, but also how we can review our learning to improve it. So in the example shared here, by adding adjectives to create noun phrases to provide clear descriptions for the audience, but also reading through to check that it flows, that our writing is fluent, to see whether there are any missing words. And we also reviewed our learning together here to check that commas in a list were used correctly. You may also choose to review your spelling with your talk partner or the adult at home that's helping you with your learning. Okay, so moving on, year 2. So my face is in the way again. Let's move my face down here. Brilliant. Okay, so today the task is going to be to draft the beginning of your instructions on how to make a boat that floats by writing the title and a list of what you need. Please use commas in a list to separate the items and try to challenge yourself by including noun phrases to add detail for the audience. As you can see, I've underlined the word use before commas. The reason I've done that is because today it's your chance to use commas in a list, building on trying the skill yesterday. Okay, I've added the title here to help you, and the heading, if you would like to use that structure, by following that before writing your list of the equipment you need to make a boat that floats. Please bear in mind that if on Monday, when you tested your boat, it didn't float, you may need to reflect on why it didn't float and make some sensible choices about the equipment you do need. So for example, if your boat was made out of cardboard and it became very wet and soggy, and over time it began to sink, you may choose that you would like to use a different material for the base of your boat. So think very carefully about your choice of materials and why they are suitable, okay? Because you definitely don't want our class bear, especially in her or his new school uniform, to sink, okay? So yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed today's lesson, year 2, and that you have fun writing your equipment list. And I look forward to sharing our next lesson with you. Take care, year 2.